40 kilometers from Tel Aviv. I have an office in Tel Aviv. It takes me about half an hour to get there. But to Ariel, it takes me 40 minutes. And she said, and I told her there's nothing to be afraid of. She said, no, you don't understand me. I will never go to Ariel. I said, why? Are you afraid? She said, no. This is occupied land. You occupied it from the Arabs. And then I told her, where do you teach? She says, in Tel Aviv University. And I said, Tel Aviv University is in Sheikh Mounes, which is an Arab village. Are you going to give it up? Oh no, it's not the same thing. So some of our people distinguish between Hebron and Bethlehem and Ashkelon and Acre. But the Arabs do not distinguish between the two. The Arabs think that Tel Aviv belongs to them. Tel Aviv is only a suburb of Jaffa. Acre belongs to them. In fact, all Israel within the Green Line belongs to them. And when they speak about the end of occupation, they do not mean the end of occupation in Gaza. Nor do they mean the end of occupation in the West Bank. They mean the end of Israel. And some of our people still have a problem in understanding that. Another thing that happened because of the Oslo Agreement, that the Jews have waived their right from now to eternity on the most holy places. Hebron, Bethlehem, Shechem, Beit El, Efrat, all these places that are mentioned in the Bible. And let me tell you that whenever I am abroad, in Europe, in the United States, but especially in Europe, I go and visit the churches because they are like museums. And in every church I see the Bible open, and on one of the pages there is Israel. There is Shechem, there is Hebron. So the Christians do know the meaning of these places. But Shimon Peres, our honorable president, once asked, now what do you want to do in Hebron? When were you lastly in Hebron? When did you go to Bethlehem? We don't need all these places. They mean nothing. I don't know whether President Obama would say, I'll give up California because I haven't been there in the last 40 years. Absurd as it may sound. But this was the attitude, and they promised us, they promised a new Middle East, whereby our sons will no longer go to the army. Our sons will have new horizons, and Israel will live in peace. But let me tell you one thing. I served in Gaza for 17 years. I could walk in the streets of Gaza with uniform, without having weapon on me. I could go to any restaurant I wanted. I could order hummus and falafel, and I would pay them with shekels, and they would say, Naam ya Sidi, thank you very much, sir. Can any one of us do this now? If anybody by mistake went into a Palestinian village he would be crucified. He would be lynched by mistake. So the situation has really changed enormously and changed the whole position of us in that area. Also, any nation who accepts the fact that another nation has a right on his country delegitimize himself. If we say that the West Bank belongs to the Arabs and that we are occupying that area, which is totally absurd, but Ariel Sharon said that on television. But if we succeed to that, if we say that this is the situation, then we delegitimize ourselves, because that means that we have no right on that area. And today, the Palestinians say openly, we are going to bring to a delegitimization of Israel in a way that more countries are going to accept us than Israel, which is becoming true. There are more countries who would vote for the Palestinian state than for Israel. So we have two nations fighting on the same area. And let me tell you, when I was a kid, I used to ask, why aren't we talking to the Palestinians? And they said, what do we have to talk with them about? They want what we have. But suddenly, we changed course. We decided to talk to them. And you know when? When the Palestinians were in the worst position ever. That was soon after the Gulf War, the first Gulf War, when nobody wanted to have Palestinians because the Palestinians backed Saddam Hussein. And at that time, we approached them and said, we told Arafat, look, you've been a terrorist all your life. You can't even go to the United Nations. They take you from the airport to the United Nations and they take you back. We'll make you a president. You'll have the red carpet. And suddenly a terrorist became a head of state. And this head of state, from the moment he signed the agreement, he did not implement one section of the Oslo Agreement. I've read the Oslo Agreement. It's not one agreement. It's about 5 agreements. Not one section has been carried out by the Palestinians. And especially the main section, that there will be no war and all problems will be solved by negotiation and by peaceful means. He said it all over. But not one section has been implemented or carried out. So the problem is not to make more agreements with the Palestinians. We have enough agreements with them. The problem is to bring them to want peace. But they do not want peace. They want Israel annihilated. They could have had a state a long time ago. A long time ago. And it's a fact that President Obama either does not see the picture in the right way, or he's so committed to the Palestinians and to the Muslims. He's so committed that he doesn't care if Israel vanishes.